what you do, what you have done now is you have made a comfortability in a room where everybody got identified with somebody else from the onset.
Okay.
But even if you're dealing with one party sometimes or two parties, then you actually should bring your team in. If you actually have, okay, this is my marketing person, this is my legal counsel, this person here handles my operations, this is my technical person, my IT person, this is my production person, and then you sit down at the table as a team. And then what you do is as they're asking questions, first of all, number one, there's two things. The first thing it does is it justifies your ask monetarily because they're looking at a whole team that needs to be fed. The second thing it does is it basically allows you to defer and be a boss. If they ask a question that is in any of those areas, you can defer. And you'll say, well, Tom will answer that question. Tom will answer the question, and then when Tom is finished, you take the mic back. So, and then if you have to defer to somebody else, you defer to somebody else. So now you actually are talking minimally, and your team is actually really making the pitch. You're using them as resources, and then you also is good to have a team because, quite frankly, you're going to have that person who's the hardliner. They'll say across the table, well, can you make a concession this way? And then you lean over, your legal counsel will tell you, or whoever was whispering in your ear, we can't concede that point because of the following reasons. And you can deliver that in real time.
Okay.
So you don't have to say, let me think about that, let me get back to you. We're here to close business. We're all prepared. Let's do it now.
So let me ask you this: when it comes down to closing, should you do it on actual copies, like hard copies, or should you close by electronic signature? I'm finding a lot of businesses, startup businesses, entrepreneur, millennial businesses, I should say too, doing electronic copies. And I'm not comfortable with that. They say sign online and then just scan it back to me. I'd rather sign it in person on a hard copy and then either fax it back to you that way. What's your recommendation on that?
When I'm doing electronic signatures, I have you upload your driver's license and sign.
Okay.
So your driver's license is part of the contract.
Okay.
So basically, you have validated who you are.
All right.
The signature on the driver's license matches the signature electronically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
now we're good.
All right. I needed that. Well, that was for me. That was a personal question. I needed that. All right. So let's get into it. You already know. So what we're doing right now for the next couple Mondays as a series, we're helping you guys actually build out a business plan. So what part of the business plan are we on right now?
We're on the mission statement.
Okay.
So you have the cultivated idea. You have gone to your hopefully you've gone upstairs with it spiritually, and it speaks to your soul and resonates that this is what you have to do. And then now you have to come down and say, what is your mission statement? The mission statement, basically, you see it a lot of times with nonprofits, is basically what are you going to do and how it's going to be beneficial either to you or someone else. So let's take a nonprofit, for example. They might say that their particular mission is to eradicate child homelessness inside a geographical area, and they're going to do this by leveraging certain political, social, strategic partners in order to get this done. And it may be a little bit longer than that because a lot of times they get into all of their passions about the situation and everything else. I think that you should have a well thought out mission statement. I do not by any means suggest that you write a book.
Yeah.
So, but your mission clearly defines what you are about from a philosophical standpoint. Don't get into the weeds of trying to define what your business is because your business will be defined in your executive summary. So that's a whole nother section. But your mission statement is just clear, concise, what your goal is and what you're trying to achieve in your corporation.
So is a mission statement something similar to an objective? Because I see some people on their business proposals, they have their objectives and their mission statements. Do you need both?
I mean, it should be one and the same in my opinion. But if you have two distinct points to make, I mean, you could segregate it if you want. But your mission statement is pretty much your objective in my estimation.
Okay.
I mean, you're basically telling someone, the generalized public, who you are. When you go into hospitals, you'll see mission statements on the wall. It'll tell you how much they subscribe to the Hippocratic oath of doing a holistic type of work that they do, that's sort of non-discriminatory and everything else that goes into your mission statement.
So is there any way? So when it comes down to the mission statement, you have to continuously follow this mission for the entire longevity of the business, or this is something that you can, revive. This is something that you can redo, like, or throughout the way that the business is growing. Can the mission statement, change or no?
Well, usually, I mean, it stays pretty consistent because when you're actually talking about changing a business, once you're probably adding another thread to your business, and if you add another thread or a sub business to your business, or your business becomes an umbrella for other businesses, then those subsections of your business model can have their own missions.
Mm-hmm.
So, case in point, if you have a warehouse, your warehouses are basically you're doing something like you decide you want to warehouse healthy food substances for the community, and whereas they can actually come and maybe you give some monies away, some food items away, or you actually give some greatly reduce the price of those food, but you have a warehouse in these little locations, much like if you want to look at it as like farmers markets or whatever else. That could be one mission. Now, your actual logistics department actually gets those products to there. Could be another company, and that company could have another mission. They're not actually dealing with the food and to make sure the food products get to the public and build a health.
Revive is alive. Once again, Revive is alive. I want you guys out there to follow us: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at Revive_P.O.C. And don't forget to subscribe to that Revive newsletter where you can find at ReviveIsAlive.com. Once again, that is ReviveIsAlive.com. Spread the word, spread the message. It's me, your girl P.O.C, host of Revive Radio.
Community, they're doing the logistics of traveling from one part to the other. Their mission statements could be that we ensure the safe travel of food products, and also we make sure that they're refrigerated properly to ensure to protect the integrity and the freshness of the materials that we're delivering. They have a different mission statement. So as you build your business, you have departments that got different missions. Like the radiology department obviously has a different mission statement than would be the emergency rooms, and that's good. Hospital's a good example because a hospital basically is really a collection of smaller businesses. Mm-hmm. So the emergency room department is actually different with a different tax ID number than say the radiology department, than the orthopedic department. Where it's one big hospital, but underneath that hospital they got different businesses operating within that hospital. That's why when you actually get an X-ray, you get the physician's component of the X-ray, which is actually reading of the X-ray, and then you get the technical component of the X-ray, which is read by the radiology department. So you get billed twice for the same procedure because they're doing different things with that. So the radiology department is not designed to have a mission where they're going to give an accurate diagnosis. That's for the physician. The physician's department is not really responsible for a clear image. That's the radiology department. Two different missions, but handling and operating within the same business.
Exactly.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
So on the side of in breaking all of that down, my background is in nonprofit governance, and I feel as though on the spectrum of nonprofits versus I won't say actual businesses, but businesses that are making profit.
Right.
For you to build your mission statement, which isn't that long, like you said, it shouldn't be a narrative, but do you feel like your vision statement should be broad so that you're able to incorporate some of those smaller, more intricate details, along the way? Because, once you get your big vision, or your mission, if you've met your mission, what if it's just to, feed 250 families, in the area? Right. You've made that your mission statement, and now you've achieved it. So,
you see longer mission statements with nonprofits and hospitals and so forth, and it's because why? Because they're always asking for donations.
Right.
So they want people to read that mission statement and feel something. But if you have a business, let's say IKEA.
Right.
I mean, all I want you to know is that we make quality furniture, and we actually maybe deal with natural products or whatever it is our mission is. And we actually are opposed to cutting down a lot of trees and things of that nature. So we're a Go Green company or whatever it is. But those are the type of things. Those are the points of a for-profit company is just to like to zero in on that customer who cares, who they do business with. The mission statements of nonprofits is to be a tearjerker in some way to make you go in your pocket and donate your time or your money.
Yeah.
I appreciate the transparency,
No,
though.
it
for
is
real.
though. It is
I definitely-
because you have to want to give. Otherwise, these people are not going to get the money that they need.
Yeah, you know,
Essentially.
so we call nonprofits professional beggars.
Hey,
Because-
hey.
but because they never have enough. It's like,
Exactly.
at what point do you say, you know? And here's the other thing about it. Not to throw
They never have enough.
and this is the other thing, not to throw nonprofits under the bus, but it's like, okay, we got a $3 million grant.
Mm-hmm.
We have effectively used $1.5 million doing the work that the grant says. Now we got to find some other $1.5 million that we could frivolously spend on, so that we can keep the $3 million grant for next
Exactly.
year.
Now,
That's a fact, though.
Yes, but we're talking at
That's a
you're
fact.
talking at very, very high level, like Volunteers of America type people. You know, my type of organizations. Yes, we are professional beggars, but it's in order to give that money back to the people that actually need it. Like
Right.
I feel like the Volunteers of America, yeah, they are trying to find where that $1.5 million is, and they're buying things like this with Volunteers of America on it to go give out to people on
Right.
the street, so they're aware.
Well,
of
I
Volunteers of
understand. I
America.
understand. I'm not trying to debate the nonprofits what they
I
do,
just wanted to wave my flag.
but here's what I would think from a holistic standpoint.
Uh-huh.
Okay, state of Pennsylvania, we actually did the work that we said we were going to do, and we came under budget. We came at 1.5 million.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, here's 1.5 million back. We didn't need that.
Yeah.
So why don't you let that other
yeah.
so we let the other nonprofit down the street that's underfunded
Can have some of that.
have some of that, so
Yes.
they can do their work.
Grant money.
See what happens in so many instances is that the more established nonprofits get way more money than they need, and then the smaller nonprofits that are trying to come up with the grassroots, they're always underfunded and
Correct.
can't get it done.
Correct.
So
Correct, and I will give you that.
Thank you.
And that's yes.
That's why we need to work on these mission statements.
Right, but then also let's talk about the people that are behind it, right? Because the Volunteers of America people, those are businessmen that are running it.
And
Right.
allegedly, too. We don't really know the people of America. I just have to put allegedly. out
Right.
there.
Allegedly, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I speak from a lot of knowledge,
I get you.
but and
Right.
all this is public information too. By the way, people,
Right.
nonprofits, all of their information can be found at GuideStar. All of what they
Welcome to
pay their
Revive.
executives, CEOs,
It's
the
about
people
that time.
underneath marketing, whatever. But
to
I was
Revive.
going to say that you know
It's
the
about
larger
that
that
time.
they get,
You
it's
know
going
what
to be
time
more
it
money for them
is.
to track, right? So
Open
they
up
give the
your
money
ears.
out. The grant people give the money
You know
out.
what time it is?
If you don't use that money, that's not
Open
really
up
for
your
me
mind.
to purchase.
It's about that
I'm
time.
supposed to be somebody that follows
It's your
behind
girl,
the
P.O.C.
with all the
Hey!
numbers of the grant. But
It's your girl,
after that point in time,
P.O.C.
it is the grantor's, to me, responsibility to follow through. If you did not use all
You know
this
what time
money
it is?
to, you know, the point you were
Open up
supposed
your
to,
ears.
yeah, take it back then.
You know what time it is?
But those, it's not being, that's
Open
not
up
a
your
discussion that's being
mind.
had, you know,
Right,
it's about
because-
that time.
And what they do is they
Welcome to
create
Revive.
other things to do with it, and that's to me is where the criminality lies.